All right, week 16, we got the Steelers against the Ravens. I'm trying to get more subscribers, so if you like what you listen to, please subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this. So Baltimore is favored by 6.5. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. The model is I'm going against the model here, and I'll tell you why. So the model has the Ravens with a 73% chance of winning, and that equates to about a 7.1 point spread. That's pretty close to what you see on the ESPN calculator. But when I look at the raw scores, is it has Baltimore scoring 30, with Pittsburgh putting up 20. But what I'm going to point out to you though is the simulation has been overestimating Baltimore's capabilities, and that's so it's off by quite a bit. The thing I would point out is if you look at all these greens, Baltimore is a solid team, absolutely. It just what it is the their total number of points scored or the point differential. The actuals is different than what the simulation predicts. So then when I come down here and I look at the Bayesian adjustment, notice that the Bayesian adjustment has about 6.5 points, which is what the line is. So a couple of things I'm looking at is these teams are definitely pretty equally matched. They were both recently have similar performances against similar teams, against Philadelphia, and then likewise uh, against the Browns. Both teams, in this case here, Pittsburgh beat the Browns by 13. But as watching that game, I think it was a little bit closer than what it looked like. And then up here, Baltimore, they struggled against the Browns earlier in the season. So and then of course you come back here to that 16 to 18 game that we saw earlier in the year. So what it really boils down to is I think Baltimore is a strong team, but as a running team, I think that they're absolutely a running team. Maybe not as committed to the run as Philly, but they are absolutely a running team. And this weekend it's going to be a cold, potentially snowy game. Those games just tend to not have big point differentials. That's the reason why I'm looking at this just saying that I think it's going to be closer than that 6.5. Is it should be a close game. It's also both teams have an incentive to play to make the playoffs, and conference rivalries there. Those are going to tend to make that close. So let's just take a look and see what the numbers say. The first thing I would point out is that uh, the Baltimore uh, uh, ability to run with Derrick Henry, with Lamar Jackson, and to have that balanced run pass attack, you just really can't underestimate that. The problem is with this particular simulation is it tends to, I think, overestimate that in the way that they actually end up running that offense. And then you just can't help but notice that there's a big disparity over here. So with Pittsburgh, and if it's going to be a cold, potentially snowy day, that's not going to help them with that pass game. They're going to have that strong running game as well. When you come over here, you definitely see that Baltimore has that ability to really get some explosive plays. That is definitely a difference. But again, that ability to pass the ball on a cold, snowy day in Baltimore, or make big runs, it's going to be a tough day. It just from what I'm looking at, I think it's going to be a tough day overall. Like I said, the model definitely is. I definitely would believe that Baltimore should win. I just don't know if they're going to be able to win by a lot. So I think Baltimore is the stronger team here. I just don't know if they're going to be able to overcome the weather, and then the the matchup itself is going to be one that's really close. That after I take into consideration the adjustment as to what they really do from a scoring perspective, as opposed to what the model says that they should be able to do. So that's what I'm trying to account for. Uh, and again, I think the point spread is if I were the one making the point spread, that's pretty much right on. And so that's where it's kind of hard to make that. But in this case here, like I said, when I look at the more recent comparables, I feel more comfortable just going with the under in this case. So I'm trying to get more subscribers. So as I said at the beginning, if you like what you listen to, please subscribe and let your friends know. Drop me a note or comment if you have any questions. Thanks.